I'm Ray Carnicelli, back on the campus of Jacksonville University, once again with head coach of the JU Dolphins, Guy Van Arsdale. Guy,
Ray,
seems like it was just a short time. We were standing in the same spot, but it was 4 months ago.
Absolutely, ready to go.
At that point in time, you had just recently relocated, getting to know the campus, getting to know your players. A lot's transpired since that time.
Yeah, we've had a chance to kind of get our feet wet, settle in, and get to know our guys and know the campus and get to know how great it is to live in Northeast Florida, especially this time of year. So it's been a very good transition.
Well, it's 2012. It's a new year and it's a new lacrosse season coming right up around the corner with a couple of scrimmages coming up and jumping right into some very big games. As far as the timing right now, we're in the first week in January. When are the kids getting back on campus, and what do you have planned for them once they come back?
Well, we're back in just a couple of days now, and start right in with some conditioning, and hit the field right away. I mean, we'll be on the field in full pads on January 8th, and with our first scrimmage the 27th.
And it's not
not
just any
soon.
scrimmage
No.
either. It's contending championship caliber team in Notre Dame.
Yeah, and for us, because we didn't have any fall scrimmages with any outside competition, it'll be our first go against a team other than ourselves, in action like that. So it's actually it's a great opportunity for us and for our program.
Well, the energy within the lacrosse community for your team is just building and building, and it's like the first season all over again here. People didn't know what to expect, and even though I'm very confident, I know you would never say how good your team is right now because you're not sure, but there's a lot of confidence in these guys, and going out to compete against a team like Notre Dame is going to be a good test. And your second scrimmage is against Tampa, and that's an up-and-coming program with a lot of talented players. It should be fun.
And I think it'll be a great go for us, and that'll be a week before our opener, so it'll be a chance to kind of try to fine-tune some things and try to get ourselves as game ready as we can be in early February.
So in the fall, it's almost an evaluation period. You are competing. You want to see who works well together. What were you able to determine from the fall as far as the players on the field? Did they meet your expectations? Did they exceed them, or where do they fit in and what you expected coming in?
Well, I think across the field, it's probably the full spectrum. I would say that there's some areas that I think that we have a chance to be pretty good in, and there's some other areas where we need some work. I'm a little concerned about our depth, and I'm not sure what style of play is our style of play yet. But we're getting there. I think we're going to be who we are in that we're gonna no matter what our talent level is, we're always going to take care of the little things. We're going to be we're going to play great defense. We're going to be great on ground balls, and we're going to respect and take care of the ball every time we have possession of it. So it's something where we need to know a little bit of who we are so that our guys can understand, and I think they're getting there.
And I think the maturity from last year to this year, there's a potential for these guys to really grow up because they were in so many close games against good competition in conference. The Marisons, Sienas of the world in Manhattan, those are going to be big games that were all decided by 1 or 2 goals.
Well, I think the MAC is it's wild and woolly. It seems like every MAC game, no matter who's playing who in the MAC, it's a tight game, and I think it seems like they're all rivalry games. So I think it requires you to come with your A game every time you play in conference. So I think our guys understand that, and I think they've learned that in the last year, and I think they understand too that one goal losses, that's fine, and say you're close, but you still lost.
Yeah, and it always comes down to if we just didn't throw that ball away, or if we would have got that shot on cage or backed it up. And as far as learning and developing, it was a young team, but this is year 3 for the program. That's not going to work for too much longer, saying it's a young program.
No, I mean, we don't use that at all. That's not a viable. One of our favorite things to say around here is no excuses, no explanations. We're gonna work hard and do it, and we're gonna reach our potential and see where that takes us.
When we talk about the guys on the field, starting the goalie position, a place where you're an expert, what have you seen out of your goalies this year that gives you confidence or hope or concerns in that, for that matter?
I feel pretty good about our keepers. Pete DeLuca, who played a lot last year as a freshman, I think got a lot of real valuable experience. And as a goalkeeper, it's hard to get better experience than game experience. And so I think he brings some of that to the table. I think we've adjusted some things with him technically that have helped him, but it's taken time to adjust. Like everybody else, when you're doing something new, it takes time to adjust. But I believe Pete can be a very, very good goalie at this level. And we also, Brendan Nicholson has been playing very, very well through the fall, and is very quick and very athletic. So I think we have a pretty good 1-2 punch there, and it's nice for them because it's a great competitive, situation, and we want to have competition as much as we can at every level. And
you talk about Brendan, one of the guys I really like to watch because he just really brings up the level of play of everybody. Not only the goalies playing around him, but the entire team. And leadership comes from a lot of different places. And a backup goalie who works as hard as anybody can be just like a good, strong backup quarterback in football.
Well, there's no question. Brendan is going to help us as a team, whether he's on the field game day or not. He's going to make us a better team either way, and make us better every day in practice, make us better by challenging our shooters, make it better by taking that bull by the horns in the defensive end and getting guys to where they need to be and playing at a level that we want them to play. So we're very lucky to have him.
Everyone wants to know who's doing what, and I know we'll all get a chance to see that before too long, especially in Orlando against Notre Dame and Tampa. On the offensive end, there's the known quantities. We know what Cam Mann can do. We know what a number of these players can do, but there's some unknowns as well with some of these new players.
Well, I think the unknown to you and me. I think we see some guys doing some things in practice. One of our juniors, I think Donnie Lang. If we're going to be successful this year, we need Donnie to have a big year. We need him to be a go-to guy and somebody who can shoot the ball with both hands and get his own shot. And that's so important.
I was ducking right there, just mentioning Donnie Lang with the ball on his stick.
Well, I think he shoots it hard, and the big thing for Donnie is kind of zeroing in on his shooting. He's done a nice job in the fall of tweaking his technique so that he can become a more consistent shooter.
As far as some of the new guys on attack in midfield, who might we hear from?
Well, I think freshman midfielder Robbie Wirtz had a great fall. Very athletic kid, goes to the goal hard. And on the attack, Ari Waffle and Quint Miller are both, for different reasons, have a chance to be effective. I think, in looking at it though, I think at this level, the hardest position to adjust to for a freshman is the attack position. There's so much they need to know, and there's so much athleticism that's required, and a little bit of sloppiness on their part, you pay for it right away when you're playing against the defensemen we play against. So I think they could add some things that we're pretty excited. But I think those are guys that we will look to early on.
And you talk about the leadership of the Cam Manns and Jake Zieglers and Donovan Lang. On the defensive end, you've got some guys coming back, but I know there's some players that we have not, people who aren't here every day, have not had a chance to really see in action that are going to show themselves come season.
Well, I'm excited about Tanner Gard, who's a junior, who played a fair amount last year, and Tanner's just a big, athletic, kind of lunch bucket kind of guy, he understands what we're doing, how we want to do it. He gets other guys to do it. He's very physical. He punishes people when that opportunity arises in a good way. And I think he could be a very kind of adhesive force at our defensive end. And we have some freshman polls that we're excited about. Austin Curtis and Charlie Archer and Ben Carter are all guys that I think could come in and do some things to help us right away.
Well, in a couple of weeks, you're going to be standing right over here against Towson at the Face-Off X. We know it's an area that had presented some challenges in 2011. Are you confident that with time and with work that could be a strength for your team?
Well, I think we can get better. In terms of it being a strength, I'm not sure yet. I think we've got two guys, Danny McNulty and Vogt, that are real strong kids at that position. They take it seriously. They work hard at it in their technique. But we got to get better, and we got to get better as a unit in the face-off, where we need to do maybe some creative things in wing play to help them when they've won a ball. We need to make sure that we're coming up with the ball.
So one last area, we talked a lot about the on-the-field stuff, and the last area on the field I want to talk about is in man-up, because it's one of the most exciting parts of the game to watch as a fan and as a player. The guys really like being out there, man-up and man-down. Can you tell me a little bit about those special teams?
Well, I think they're critically important, and I guess as the game over the last probably 10 or 15 years, I think at this level especially, you've seen the amount of fouls called in a game go down. That if if there's 4 or 5 extra man opportunities in a game, that's a lot. And if you're down 4 or 5 times, that's a lot. And so I don't know if it makes it more important or less important that you take advantage of those, but I think for us it's going to be important because we need to find ways to score goals in all kinds of different ways. And so I think on extra man, you know, we need to make sure we take advantage of those opportunities we get on extra man. And I think we have a core of guys who could be a good unit, because I think in the extra man too, it's about putting a unit together, not necessarily 1 or 2 guys who are going to shoot the ball. And it's about a unit being able to handle the ball and move the ball quickly and take advantage of that extra man.
So the players are coming back. You're going to get them back here on the field. Guys are going to be fighting for spots and playing time, not necessarily roster spots, but playing time. Jumping into 2 strong scrimmages against Tampa and Notre Dame, right into Towson, Navy, Duke, Michigan. The schedule from a fan standpoint and from a coaching standpoint, everybody knows the importance of the MAC. It can't be understated or overstated. It is what it is. You win your conference, you go to the NCAAs. But the schedule, it's a great schedule for a fan. And those big games at home, the conference games, we talk about not Towson and Navy, those are the easy ones to mention, but quality programs like Air Force and the new program like Michigan, it's very exciting. And a lot of home games with only, I think, 3 out-of-conference games away and at Duke. It's going to be a pleasure for the fans to get out here and watch great lacrosse.
Well, I don't think there's any question that if you really are a lacrosse fan in actually northeast central Florida
and South Georgia,
South Georgia, this is a great place to go to see some of the best lacrosse in the country, and you don't have that opportunity anywhere else, in this area. So I think to be able to see that level of play, I think it's great for those who just want to be entertained. It's great for young players who want to learn how to play the game and see the game played at a high level to compare where they want to get to. If they're thinking about that's what they want to do, well, come see it and look at it. And I think we're very excited about the development of the Moe's Classic, which on February 19th, tickets are now on sale at Everbank Stadium. And we've got both those games are going to be televised on NBC Sports Channel, and we think it's going to be a tremendously exciting day to have Ohio State play Denver and to have us play Navy. I think it's a great opportunity for the people who are passionate about lacrosse in this area to come out and demonstrate to the rest of the lacrosse world how tuned in this part of the country is to great lacrosse.
You see the crowds are getting out in Denver for their classics and the University of Denver home games, and the potential's here for that as well. Last year was okay. It was a good crowd for a new event in a new city, but you'd have to be honestly out of your mind if you call yourself a lacrosse fan and you don't want to see 2 ranked teams in Denver and Ohio State and the up-and-comers Jacksonville taking on legends Navy. And all the exciting things in the history of that program.
Well, I think, like you say, if you consider yourself a lacrosse person at all, I can't imagine a viable excuse for not being there. We've got great ticket packages for a 4-pack for families to come, where they get hot dogs and drinks and parking and tickets, and there's all kinds of opportunities to make this viable. There will be a lacrosse festival that day. The day before the game, the team's practices will be open to fans and get autographs, come see things. So I think it's an opportunity to get really close to the game at a very high level that just doesn't exist in this part. It actually doesn't exist in a lot of parts of the country, especially in a venue like this. There's not many big-time lacrosse events going on in NFL stadiums, and we get to do one here in North Florida.
And it's called the Moe's Sunshine Classic for a reason. It's February, and we can probably consider there will most likely be sun there. I know that the readers of my website, NorthFloridaLacrosse.com and JUDolphins.com, can find all the information on the Sunshine Classic and the JU season. Coach, I appreciate the time. I know that the families of the players, the community here in North Florida, and everyone who looks at my website and JUDolphins.com, they're excited about the season and can't wait to actually see the guys in action.
We're excited too, and I look forward to seeing what we look like as well.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, man.